we need to.
Okay. You want me to start, Cheryl, or you start? What do you want?
Sarah was kicking us off. Y'all don't remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
Nope.
It
Hey,
goes.
how about
And then
that?
I'm next, and then Kelly's next, and then Cheryl's going to do the wrap up bow on the top.
Oh, wow. I don't
Okay.
even remember discussing that.
Yeah.
I was on vacation, remember? So I probably put that in the back of my
Vacation
head.
mode. Okay, well, I will start us off. First of all, welcome and thank you guys for hopping on this, pop-up training. We just thought it was really something important to give you just a little bit of tidbit of information on recruiting, sharing our business and why we do that. It really is something that I started out very much like you guys. Let's backtrack. I should probably introduce myself because there might be people watching this that don't know me. My name is Sarah Cooter. I'm an advanced director, originally from Wisconsin, now living in Illinois under Kelly. And I have been with Pampered Chef 6 years. And I'm just going to say, when I started, I was very hesitant about even joining the business. So those people you're talking to that have a million questions, that was me. A lot of self-doubt. I was a hygienist, dental hygienist for 28 years. That's what I knew. I never in a million years thought I could sell anything. Really didn't think this would be a good fit for me. But there were two things I knew. I loved Pampered Chef. I had been to parties. I had hosted parties. And I needed some income. So that is literally what launched me into this business. I will say I had no desire to be a director. I had no desire to have a team, recruit people. It was not in my thoughts at all. In fact, I believe I even said that to Kelly, like, just to let you know, I'm going to do 1 to 2 parties a month. I am never going to have a team. I'm not going to recruit, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I said it all. So fast forward to being on, I don't remember if it was at National Conference or if I was on a training somewhere, but I happened to get on a training and they were talking about recruiting and they were talking about offering this business. Okay. We always think of recruiting as, getting people to join our team, but you guys, it really is a mindset shift that helped me. And what it is because if you are not sharing this business, you have no idea who you are holding back from something. Okay. It may be putting groceries or food on the table. They might not be able to afford groceries right now. It might be putting gas in a car. They may be needing to get school clothes for their children, supplies. I mean, whatever it is, you have that key of just offering something like this that maybe $100 or $200 a month could be literally life-changing for them. And that is really, it was like a knife went into my heart, seriously, when they said that, because I thought, oh my gosh, I've been in business for a year and I have never once talked about this business. Now, this business helped me, helped my son really be able to go to college. So it was a really kind of a big deal. And yeah, so when I heard that, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that I may have kept somebody else from getting something in their life that could really help them. And that is when my mindset shifted. So I really want to just have you guys think about sharing the business and talking about the opportunities that Pampered Chef can bring just as a conversation. Literally, it doesn't have to be anything. Don't make it about you. It truly is about the person that you could potentially be helping. So that was my big aha. And I just thought that was really important to share Because when you think of it that way, that you could truly be, keeping somebody from, something, providing for their family, or, whatever it may be, it's just a little different perspective, and look at it as helping others. So that's what I have.
And I am Donna Nelson, and I'm just going to jump on here and tell y'all what happened to me. Now, I am an advanced director now, but to become a director, I sort of had some competition going with a fellow Pampered Chef person, and we just sort of competed. So it wasn't really about helping others. We was just competing, having fun. So anyway, that's a fun little thing. So y'all to really partner up with somebody and just make it a fun little competition. But what I've learned now after all that, of course, if you went to conference, you had all these heart tugging things that you realize, oh, like Sarah mentioned, you do need to share to help others. But my problem was when they told me no, I was just okay, they said no, but that asked 5 times, ask your host 5 times. I was not doing that. I might do it a time or two, and if they said no, I definitely backed off completely, didn't mention it ever again. But I started asking 5 times, and I did it robotically. I just put it in my host coaching ask, and I just made it myself ask every single time, even if they said no. I just kept on doing it. And that is when my recruiting changed around completely. I cannot believe how many that said no at the end of the party were saying yes, or maybe, or, tell me more, So the ask 5 times really, really works. I'm here to say it does work. And me and Cheryl had recently talked about even asking a 6th time, because you get bookings from their party. So when you're getting ready to kick off these bookings, say, are you sure I've got so and so and so and so doing a party for you? These could be your parties to help you get started. So even adding that 6th ask is a good idea, because the first thing if somebody would ask me, the first thing that came to my mind would be no. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to most people's mind is no about doing the business, because it's not something you would naturally be thinking, oh, I want to be a Pampered Chef person, so. But as you start recruiting people, I actually became, I made excellence in recruiting just by doing those 5 asks. By asking hosts 5 times, it actually let me earn excellence in recruiting. So I do believe in that for sure. But once you start recruiting, you realize too how life-changing it's been for you and the business has been for you. And you feel more confident and more comfortable with talking with people. Like one girl was telling me no this weekend, but yet she told me she was a single mom, didn't have a job. So we actually talked on the phone. I actually just was getting on right after talking on the phone with her, and she's going to sign up because she needs a job. She needs money. She's desperate, but she's going to sign up. But I actually picked up the phone and called her and talked to her, one-on-one. And she was telling me no, but I said, after she told me she was single and a mom and no job. And I said, well, you do need this. So anyway, she's super excited about getting started. So, and we do have don't worry about anybody signing up, because we have trainings out there. We'll help anybody you sign up to, learn what they're doing and everything too. So I just wanted to share. Don't be hesitant because you don't know what you're doing, because a lot of y'all, I'm sure, are new or newer and don't feel comfortable, but we're here to help everyone too. So that's what I have. So on to Kelly.
Okay, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about having this be like a little bit from your heart. My name is Kelly Moore. I have been with Pampered Chef for 21 years. And when I started so I could be home with, my son at the time. I started when he was about 6 months old. My husband was a professional chef and worked extremely crazy hours. So I needed to bring in extra money, but I also had to have something that was super flexible because my husband would leave the house at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and not get home till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So it was just, I needed something that had really big flexibility. So it was a fantastic job. And I always like to tell people that this job has been everything that I've needed it to be over the last 21 years. When Graydon was really young, I did about 3 parties, 3, 4, this was back in the day when it was just cooking shows. I did 3 to 4 cooking shows or so a month. And that worked great for us. I started working on wanting more from the company and, wanting to promote. So I started working on building up my show schedule. And then almost 6 years later, along came my daughter. And I was like, but the nice thing about this job is that I didn't have to ask anybody for like a leave of absence for work or worry about like FMLA stuff for maternity leave. I was just able to cut my show schedule back a little bit and do what I needed to do at that time. And so Kewen was born, and a couple years after she was born, I started working on directorship again. I was not a recruiter at that time. That's not what my focus wasn't at that time. Sometimes I could kick myself and wish I would have, shared this business a lot sooner with people, but it just, at that time of my life, that's what I needed Pampered Chef to be for me. And then, all of the sudden my dad gets diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and it was just a complete and utter shock to our family. We'd never had cancer in my dad's family, and it was just like completely out of the blue. And this is a cancer that they tell you, like, you have 2 years to live. Like, no matter what we do, you're probably going to not live past 2 years. And my dad made it 22 months. So I was so, so thankful that I had a job like this, that I could still bring income in for my family, but I could help my mom and dad as much as I could. And I seriously don't know what I would have done. I mean, if I would have been working a regular job at that time. So I was then, shortly after that, I knew, I really wanted to focus on what I wanted next from this business. And I wanted to move up. My ultimate goal is, national executive director, and, which still is my goal. So I'm like, okay, I have not recruited for the first basically 11 years of my business, really. I mean, I had recruits. I'm not saying that I didn't recruit, but I wasn't seeking out recruits on a routine basis. So I was invited to a program from home office. So if home office ever invites you to participate in any kind of training, take advantage of it. I mean, I'm talking even Teach Me webinars and that kind of stuff. Take advantage of it. So I was invited to the lead program, and I wasn't a strong recruit. I wasn't doing the asking like I should have been. And I was not a person that would play games at my cooking shows. A lot of people would play games, and that was how they would get an interest in bookings and in recruiting. And I just didn't like that. I felt like it felt salesy to me. And that's just not how I did things. So I'm in lead, and I'm being forced to get kicked out of a program if I'm not submitting 8 parties a month and recruiting 2 people a month. And I really, really wanted to be a part of this program. So I just kind of said to myself, all right, I need to learn what I need to do here. And I just remember Kathy Cocazella, one of our field development managers, saying to us, first off, pushy is when you're making it about yourself and not making it about them. So you need to always be asking yourself when you're working with somebody, no matter, I mean, even think about this when you're talking to a guest or talking to a host. What can Pampered Chef do for them? And what could they do for Pampered Chef? What kind of skills, what kind of qualities does this person have that could be great in this business? So you need to be thinking about those 2 questions all the time. So in that lead program, I graduated. I really started to promote my business well. So that was, 2016, 2017. This is kind of around the time Sarah joined my team. And our team really started to grow and flourish. It was quite amazing. And in November of 2018, I woke up on a Tuesday morning, kissed my husband goodbye, And 2 hours later, I get a phone call that he's in the hospital. I get to the hospital and my husband is dead. Absolutely not the way you think that your life is going to go. Nobody's ever prepared for that. He suffered a catastrophic brain aneurysm, and I had an 11-year-old and a 17-year-old at home. And not only was I trying to figure out how to make sure that I survived this and my children survived this emotionally, but I had a business that I had had for 17, almost 18 years. I loved my job and I didn't want to have to leave it and go back into the corporate world and be at the beckon of somebody else telling me what to do all the time. I was very proud of my job and how I'd grown my career and my business over the years. So that was one of those big realizations that I had to decide that this was going to work for me. And fortunately, I was able to flourish through that. And, it's been almost 4 years now. I just got married again in December. So I have a wonderful new husband and I have 2 more kids now. And this business hit, like I said, it's really been there for me. But I don't know what I would have done without Pampered Chef at that time. I don't know what I would have done if somebody would have said to me, you have to go back to work full time. I don't know if I could have even functioned, getting up and going to a full-time job every day. So there's so many luxuries, if you will, if you want to say that with this job too, that, people can, I stayed home with my kids. I was able to do that. My kids never went to daycare. Not that that's a bad thing or anything, to go to daycare, but I'm just saying I was fortunate enough to, be able to raise my kids. And my kids, sometimes I don't even know if they appreciate it because they don't know anything different than me being home. So I'm always like, do they just not get that I can't, that I'm not always, I can't always be here for them. It's funny. But, it's just this job can be anything that you want it and need it to be at any time in your career. Sarah didn't even tell the part about her job with, she wasn't sure if she was going to keep doing dental assisting after, or dental hygiene after COVID. COVID was such a wreck for her. And she was going to be moving at the time. And she's just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I should try to work again in Chicago when I get down there, what I should do. And the dentist she worked for died. It was like, thank God she had Pampered Chef to fall back on, right, Sarah? I mean, yeah, she would have been going into a new city with nothing to do. So you just don't know what this job could be for somebody. It could be simply getting out of the house for them to enjoy some time with adults if they wanted to do cooking shows. For me, when my kids got a little bit older, I actually said my job, this was my mom's night out. That's what I felt like. Even though I was going to work, it was like, I'm getting away from the kids for a few hours. Yes, I'm going to make some money, but I am going to have some adult conversation and it's going to be amazing. So you do not know what you could be holding somebody back from. It could be a night out a month. It could be interacting with people. It could be the difference between having their kid have tons of student loans or not, like Sarah's case. And you just don't know. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you guys, but I really truly feel that this business can be anything you want it or need it to be in your life.
All right, I guess it's my turn. So, that was hard to follow, Kelly. Jeez.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But I mean, sounds terrible, but it's really nice to hear different reasons. I really love hearing different reasons, and how Pampered Chef is like affected, impacted, helped, because I think everybody's gone through something, and some people more than others. And, so there's just always, Pampered Chef does fit. So guys, I'm Cheryl Wyatt. I'm advanced director. I'm in Tennessee, and I've been with Pampered Chef. It'll be 23 years in 2 weeks. So, why are we talking to you guys about this, about recruiting, right? I mean, that's probably something that you're like, okay, y'all are just telling us kind of what's going on and why we should do this, but really, why are you doing this? I don't know if you know this or not, but like raise your hands and just, do you know that Pampered Chef has a $40 kit, $40 credit discount on every kit that we own, right? Every kit. So the starter kit, the deluxe kit, and the ultimate kit, they're all $40 off. Has Pampered Chef done this before?
that
I don't think so, ever. Like, I mean, there's been special kits here and there, there was one earlier this year. And so one of the reasons that we kind of did this is because this is a big deal. $40 off could be the reason, $40 could be the reason why somebody's not joining Pampered Chef. And, if you aren't a recruiter or you don't feel strong in recruiting, you don't feel confident in recruiting, you don't know what to say, shoot, you want to talk about $40 off. I mean, if you go to a store, do you run to the clearance rack first? Absolutely, all day long. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to the clearance rack. There might be something on there I want, and there actually might be something on a regular rack, but it's also on the clearance rack, and I'm going to get the one off the clearance rack. So when we have specials like this, but I want you to hear me out. This does not mean that when we don't have specials, you don't do this. Okay. I did not become the top recruiter in our organization for the last, I don't know, X amount of years because I only wait for Pampered Chef to have specials. It's because I'm asking all the time. Sarah talked about, you don't know what what is going on in somebody's life. Something my brother told me, and I kind of joke about this, but how many people are out there on social media posting about their kids' second time around in first grade? No, they're excited they're going to first grade. They're not going, oh yeah, it's their second time through first grade, or something like that. So people are not airing their dirty laundry or things that they may not want everybody to know on social media. You look at Thanksgiving pictures, you look at Easter pictures, you look at Christmas pictures, and you kind of start to go, oh, well, look at them. No, that's not how their life is 365 days a year. So Sarah talked about that. You never know who needs that extra for whatever. Donna talked about how she changed her mindset and started asking people and not stopping at that no. And because, and I know she did, she's like, I asked them once and they said no. So I didn't ask them anymore. That's exactly what she told me. And I was like, no, 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 get the ruler out. That's not how we do this. And kind of Kelly talked about how would her life be so different if Pampered Chef wasn't a part of it? Right? What if she wasn't a Pampered Chef consultant? Not only did Pampered Chef provide financial support for her, but Kelly and I both were really sick in 2020. Neither of us had COVID. And it was the support of our fellow team members, our upline, home office. People reached out to us when we were sick, that we consultants actually care. Have you ever worked a job, whether it was a corporate job, maybe it was at McDonald's, maybe it was at Walmart, maybe it was at the local diner, but there are people behind you with a knife ready to put it in your back because they don't want you to better up them. With Pampered Chef, we do this together. Always have. That is one thing that I've noticed. I was in the corporate world for 30 years and never in my life have I experienced such a hand-holding, do it together, bonding company as Pampered Chef. No, I was not paid to say that, but it's true. When somebody is down, all hands are down to reach to pull you back up. Connie might have experienced that on Saturday as we were trying to all rally and help her through some struggles that she had. She's not on my team. I don't know her from Adam, but this is how we are. And it doesn't matter. And you'll experience that the longer you stay in Pampered Chef and the more places you go, like conference and trips and stuff like that. So just know this is a really unique company. It really, really is. So when they're offering this $40 kit credit, or no, I shouldn't say kit credit, this $40 off, you really want to talk about it. And you want to talk about it with everybody. You want to talk about it with all of your hosts. You want to talk about it with all of your friends. You want to talk about it with all your family. Can you honestly shake your head yes and say that you have asked all of your best friends, all of your family members, those kind of things, maybe your coworkers? So I'm going to ask you, why not? Think about that. Are you keeping something from somebody because you're too afraid to ask? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of that they're going to say no? Okay. So does that come from when you were a child and you was like, Mom, can I have a cookie? No. Well, you know what? Just because Mom didn't let you have that cookie, did it hurt? No. Did she do it because she didn't love you anymore? No. Did she do it because she was mad at you? Well, you might have done something wrong. You didn't deserve that cookie, but probably not. Maybe she was looking and going like, it's just not the right time for you to have that cookie. So think about when somebody tells you no, and let's really think about this. Have you ever thought that when they tell you no, that it might be hard for them to tell you no? Like maybe you ask your best friend, hey, you look, we got this $40 off on this kit. I don't know if you want to do something like this, but, would you like to? And they're like, no. Have you ever thought of that? No is very hard for them to say too. They don't want to hurt your feelings, but you hear the word no. And I mean, you put the wall up. I'm not asking anybody else, not asking her again. It's done made her mad or him mad or whatever. No, they just, they had to tell you no. And it's very hard for them to tell you no. How many times have you had to tell, like I said, your child no, or maybe somebody's invited you to the movies or out to dinner and you had to say no? Wasn't that hard for you to tell them? You don't want to disappoint anybody. They don't want to disappoint you either. So when you're hearing that word no, let it go. If Scout was in here right now, she'd start singing it.
I was just thinking, it went right through my head, Cheryl.
She would be belting it out loud because she's my little singer. Y'all should hear what she sang to me yesterday. But anyway, you got to let it go. You got to embrace that no. And you also have to say, thank you so much for letting me know. Just don't, they told me no, I'm not going to respond. That is really not the way to handle it. But just know that no is hard for them as well. And like Donna said, don't let that one no from that one person be the reason why you never ask them again. So another reason why they may say no, what if they're not really sure of what's going on? How many times have you had a conversation with somebody about the business and they think that we've got to sell $500 a month? They think that we've got to have 20 parties a month. They think that we have to recruit 5 people a month. They think that we have to move up the ladder. Do y'all know how easy it is to be a Pampered Chef consultant? I mean, really? Do you know that you can order $20 every 6 months and you are still a consultant? Do you let people know that it is that easy? Do you let people know that they can simply join your team and be somebody like, okay, let me back up for a second. Y'all heard of Mary Kay makeup, right? How many people did you know that are Mary Kay consultants that don't really sell anything? They are consultants because they want to get the discount on products. They use makeup and they don't want to go spend $20 on a palette of foundation. They want to get it for $10. The company lets them do that. It's okay. Pampered Chef is no different. People can actually be Pampered Chef consultants for the discount, as long as you are submitting some sales. Again, it's not $500 a month, but they can join just for the discount. And there are lots of people who sign up for Pampered Chef for the discount. Lots of people. And did you know that you can get the new season's products for 50% off? Are you letting people know that? Oh my gosh, I'd love to have, let's just pretend the air fryer's coming out. Oh my gosh, I'd love to have that air fryer. Well, if you join Pampered Chef as consultants, we get new products at 50% off. That's not how you want to build a team. That's not how you're going to move up in the organization, but it is going to help you start asking. It's going to help you build that confidence that you need to start asking. So I'm going to really back up. Like I said earlier, we've all had some bad things in our life. Maybe you've had somebody in your life that has told you things that has really messed with your head. You know, maybe you were told you weren't good enough, or maybe you were told you were fat or too skinny or not pretty, or you just weren't good enough. And you believe what they say. Well, I was in a situation for 10 years, and that person completely took me of like all of my confidence, my ability to feel like I was doing things for others. But I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. Something inside of me was just like, no, no, that's not, I'm not going to believe what this person says. But we too also tell ourselves things like, oh, nobody wants to be on my team. Nobody likes me. Nobody, blah, blah, blah. Don't let somebody else or yourself put you down. If they do, you rise back up. Let yourself rise back up over that, because it is easier for us to convince ourselves that we're not good enough to do something and nobody wants to be a part of us than it is to believe that people do want to be a part of us and people do want to, be friends with me and things like that. So I know that was like really going off the deep end, but sometimes we have to look at ourselves in a more positive fashion. I mean, it's really easy. We're so negative to ourselves. I mean, how often do you wake up and go, man, I'm beautiful and my hair looks great today? No, well, my hair looks like crap today, and whoo, my face is all puffy. That's what we tell ourselves every day. But we don't need to do that. We need to tell ourselves, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. My skin looks so tight. I have no bags under my eyes. There are no wrinkles on my forehead. And I can wear those shorts I wore back in high school. But anyway, tell yourself those things, because when you start telling yourselves those things, they will start to come true. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up with a few things just to kind of let you know, build that confidence. Use this $40 off kit opportunity to build your confidence and your ability to master that ask. There's people, Donna asks me a lot of times, people like, what are you saying to recruit people? I'm going through the process. I'm finding out more about that person. I'm tailoring what I'm saying to them about them. Why do I think that Gwen's going to make a great Pampered Chef consultant? I'm going to find a little bit about Gwen. I'm looking right at you. So Gwen actually used to be a Pampered Chef consultant, correct? I didn't personally recruit her. I just know these things. She's on my team. I just know these things. But maybe that is the avenue you want to take. Oh my gosh, I had somebody like in one of my parties that used to be Pampered Chef. You know what I asked him? Have you ever thought about getting back into it? Man, we've got a great kid special. I'm not trying to take them away from somebody else, but if they're not talking to their person they were signed up under anymore, yeah, heck yeah, but I'm going to inform them. Then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to invite them. So find out things about people. Make sure that you have a follow-up system. Whether it is a notebook that is tabbed out that says, recruit leads, maybe it is digital, but make sure that you are writing that down. If they say no, write it down, because guess what? When there's another kit special, come back around and ask them again. Don't try to leave it up to here, because it's not going to work. You're going to get Alzheimer's. You just get it with age. It happens. And I don't mean literally Alzheimer's. We just forget. There's way too much. But I want you to do this. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of call to action. And then we want to open it up for a few minutes of questions. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do from here? Did you just get on this call just to hear us blab, talk about ourselves and how we've moved up the ladder? Probably not. You got on this call because you want to know more about sharing the business, why you should share the business, who you should share the business with. So I want you to get not right now, but grab a piece of paper or a digital version, and I want you to start to make a list. Don't worry about putting numbers down the side. We always used to say, but 1 through 100 or whatever, that takes up too much time. Don't waste your time. Just write names down. Have that notebook open all the time where you can continually fill those lines in. Oh my gosh, the mail lady just came to mind. Oh my goodness, my dental assistant just came to mind, because, maybe in Sarah's case, Sarah's not the only person that lost their job at that place. Maybe unfortunately something might have happened to you, but start writing those people's names down, and then out beside their name, why you thought of them. Why did you think of Sarah? Why did you think of Susie? Why did you think of Gwen? You know, Sarah's now going to be unemployed because, you know, her dentist passed away. Gwen's a former Pampered Chef consultant. Oh my gosh, I'm going to ask Gwen. This is why she's a former Pampered Chef consultant. I'm going to ask Donna because she's fun and bubbly. You know, things like that. You know, write down why you thought of them. And then you're just going to simply say, listen, and be honest with them. Like you could say, I know this question is strictly coming out of left field, and this doesn't have to be to your host. Look at everybody in the party, look at everybody in your life, and look at everybody that you encounter throughout the day, whether it's at the bank. You know, who wants to work at Kroger's? I don't know if you guys all have a Kroger's, or at McDonald's for the rest of their life. Do you think they want to be a waitress for the rest of their life? They might, but you never know. So anybody that you encounter, they need to know that you're a Pampered Chef consultant. But write these names down, and then you're going to create a follow-up system to be like, okay, now I'm going to start reaching out to these people. What am I going to say? You know, again, hey, I know this is like crazy. We've got this amazing kit special that's going on. And, you know, I don't know that I don't know, but have you ever thought about doing something like this? Literally make it that easy. Do not get into, well, you know, I know you just lost your job and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Simply just say, we've got a great kid special going on right now. And I don't know if I don't ask, have you ever thought about doing something like this? And when I learned that all I needed to say was, have you ever thought about doing something like this, could turn my life around, I started doing it all the time. I might throw a couple of words in here and there, but I asked my upline, what are you saying? And that's what she said. And I thought, well, you know what? It's about time I started doing what people are doing that are having success instead of recreating the wheel. So no reinventions here. We're not inventors. We're Pampered Chef consultants. Use what works. But start there and just start your ask. The more you ask, the easier it gets. If you get stumped on an answer or a response, you need to do a screenshot and send that to your recruiter or your upline, whoever, whatever, director, upline, recruiter, whatever. If you got a good friend with Pampered Chef, maybe send it to them. What would you say here? But if y'all are all in one of our organizations, reach out to us. We're recruiting. We can help you answer that question. So I think that's all I got. Sorry. It's my jam. I talk a lot about it.
Who's got a question? Don't be shy.
Okay, I got a question. And I can't see Dominique or Amy, so you guys can pop it in the chat. But how many of you want to share this business with others because you know that it can change their life? All right, Gwen, Sarah, Connie, Cheryl, Donna, and Kelly, I know too. Do you have people in mind that you're like, all right. I promise when you start brain dumping, that's what we're going to just call this. When you start brain dumping at your list, I can go back. I don't know where it's at. I was sitting at conference and I had a pad. We got a old notebook pad from when we were at conference one year. And I remember being in a breakout session. I was taking notes, but as I was taking notes, people's names were kind of popping into my brain. Even if they're like, you know, maybe they're a host, maybe it's a host that's name is coming to your mind. You know, have you ever thought about asking somebody about doing Pampered Chef before you asked them to host a party? No? Do you want me to tell you the benefit of doing that? So how many have ever went like sledding, like snow sledding? Or walking up and down hills, right? So is it easier to go up the hill or down the hill? I'm gonna say down the hill. So if you ask them the very top question, have you ever thought about doing something like this? And they say no. Your next question should be, or your next, like your response should be something like, oh, no worries. I really just wanted, I'm asking because the kits are $40 off. I mean, use this next week. We've got 7 days, a full week to do this. I'm just asking because our kits are $40 off. Pampered Chef has never done this before. And I just don't want to, I don't want anybody to miss out if this is on their radar. No worries. But we also have got an amazing host special the next couple of months because hosts can pick their own, their host special, which is 60% off of an item or set of their choice. So would you like for me to spoil you with some free products or whatever your booking line is? But it's a little bit easier if you ask them if they want to host a show and then you turn around and go, well, would you like to sell Pampered Chef? It's a little bit harder. It can be done, but it's a little bit harder to kind of go up than down. So, and then if they don't want to host, maybe they just want to be a good customer, be in your VIP group. So you can just start checking off those opportunities for them. So no questions? Really?
Cheryl's used to having people ask her a lot of questions.
I know. I'm like, don't come at me with some questions if you're on this call.
Yeah, you have the top recruiter, a founder award winner on the call here. She was in the top 20 of the entire company in recruiting this year. 25 qualified recruits. Are you sure you guys don't have a question?
And that is all because I instilled the belief in my head.
Mhm.
They did not jump in. They did not just jump in and come to my door and say, I want to sign up. And that was a big goal of mine. It still makes me tear up. I'm very emotional over that, to believe that. Because I never thought something like that I would ever have the opportunity. Because I thought that was for everybody else, not me. All right. So set yourself a goal. While we've got this kit special, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm all about this. So write this down. We got 7 days. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be tough, but I know a lot of you are in our Elevate. A couple of you are in our Elevate program that's kind of going on right now. I know you're working on bookings, but what if for the next 7 days, now tell me if this makes you very nervous. If you ask 5 people every day to join your team. Because if they said no and 2 of them booked a show, that would be pretty awesome. Just challenge yourself. I mean,
It makes me nervous. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Asking 5 people makes me nervous, but I'm
Still
willing
makes
to do
me
it.
nervous. It still
Yeah.
makes me nervous.
So
me too.
Mhm.
yeah,
Me
I
too.
mean, it's yeah. There we go. Cheryl, top recruiter, and she's still nervous. So
I'm shy.
do it scared.
That's right, friends.
Do it
I'm
scared.
shy. I asked a lady today who couldn't afford to buy anything. She has to pay for medical bills. I was doing my winter post and I said, well, hey, I wanted to let you know about the gift that you can earn. And she, hosting's not in it. And I said, I'm thinking medical bills. Is it for her? I'm thinking this is a really hard question. And I just bit the bullet. I thought, I'm like, Donna, we've got something to offer. And if they're hurting for medical bills, I don't know if it's her that's sick or somebody in her family, but I was not going to be the reason.
And the thing is too, is you have to watch for stuff too. Social media is a yucky thing sometimes, but it also is incredible in a lot of ways too. I saw somebody yesterday that's friends with me on Facebook, and she I was trying to see if I could find the post, but she put something on Facebook about, does anybody would anybody be willing to pay for me to come up and pick up their laundry, do it all, fold it all, and come over and put
I
it
saw
away?
that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sent her a message and I said, hey, I said, I don't know if this is anything that you've ever thought about before, but if you're learning, looking to make some extra money, this might be something for you. I
She's a
had somebody,
Scentsy consultant.
yep, I said that to her too. I
Yeah.
said, I know you sell Scentsy, but you know, and she said, I don't know if I want to sell anything else right now. And I said, well, you know what? This is what we've got. This is available till next Sunday. If you want to talk, just let me know. You never know.
Yeah.
She called me this week. You never know. I've even had people on my team before that did this job very part-time, very part-time. This one girl, that was several years ago, she posted on her page one time, does anybody know of any place that's hiring for part-time right now? And I sent her a message and I said, you have your Pampered Chef business, you could kick it up a notch. Like I said earlier, you can do this job in any way, shape, and form you want to do it at any time. And she was like, oh, duh. Like, what was I thinking? I'm like, yeah, you have this opportunity right here. And she kicked it up for a while. And then, now she actually was one of my first people that got me to become a director. She was my first 5 to get me to director. But she actually just recently had her second baby and she did drop off. She's got a pretty aggressive full-time job. So, but you know what? She might come back around someday. She loves Pampered Chef, but at that time I was like, what are you thinking? Like, you have this, like, just do it. Like, just do it. And you don't know what could happen. So yeah. Just, keep on the lookout for things like that too. Not like you're trying to be like this stalker person, but again, you never know if this could be something that somebody needs in their life right now. You don't know. I played a game at my parties, the one game that I was talking about when I was in that lead program. You would ask questions and I would hand out cards and they had $100 bills on them on the playing cards. And then once we passed out cards through the show and at the end of the party, I would say, okay, so who here has like 1 or 2 cards? And then I would ask that person, what would you do with an extra $100 a month? What would you do an extra $500 a month? What would you do an extra $1,000 a month? And one time I had somebody say to me, for the $100, she said, I could buy groceries. Not I would buy groceries. I could buy groceries. And she was being absolutely serious. Like, she had no business even buying anything at that party because she had not even 2 pennies to rub together. You know what I mean? And we had some chats. She ended up not joining at the time, but she, like, I don't know. I'm like, have you ever thought about doing something like this? So I always say, everybody does this job for different reasons, and it can be for anything you want it to be. Somebody might want to just buy like more shoes. Like, seriously, I had somebody one time say to me, like, I could buy like all the shoes. Like, she was so excited when I said it to her. And I'm like, if you want this money for fun money, if you want this money, just to be put in a savings account every month, if you want it to actually just be able to pay your bills, you just never know what this could do for somebody. So don't not ask because you're scared. Don't not ask. You're, like Sarah said before, I could be holding somebody back from a lot.
Yeah.
So
I actually stalked I wasn't stalking social media. I was in Facebook looking, working on my parties, and a girl posted something about, a part-time job, or I can't remember exactly. I think she ended up taking her post down, and I'm like, I need to message her. It took me a couple of hours, and I said, hey, Natalie, I promise I'm not a stalker, but I saw today on Facebook you were asking for suggestions and possibly interested in working from home. So I couldn't remember what she said. It took, and I'm not kidding, it took 2 to 4 hours before I even responded to her. Or reached out to her. I just wanted to reach out to you. We had a good party. I looked up her party before and see what our sales were. I said we had a good party several years ago, and I thought I would ask if you'd ever thought about giving Pampered Chef a try. Right now, our kits are $40 off, and we have some sweet specials for new consultants too. I'd run your first party. Like I said, she's a past host, so she kind of, and and she said, haha, you're not a stalker, but I'll take a look. She said, haha, you're not a stalker, little smiley face. I'll take a look. So, I mean, and I don't do that either. It's that, but I thought, it's okay every now and then to take time and look on Facebook to look for things like this, because I can promise you recruiters are doing that thing. Recruiters of other companies are doing exactly. That's why there's a social media thing called LinkedIn. That's exactly what recruiters get on there, and they are looking for qualified individuals to work for their company. That's what a recruiter does. And they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it to help that person that they're talking to get more out of, life or whatever, you know what I'm saying, earn more money and things like that. So anyway, this was awesome. Y'all were sweet. Thank you guys for joining. Does anybody, anything else? We're rolling it at an hour.
No. Thanks, everybody. This is recorded then, so I will get the recording information to Cheryl and to Donna and to Sarah. So if you need to pass it on to your teams, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you all for
Thanks,
joining
everybody.
us.